everyone, welcome to InterviewPro. In the last video, we learned about template reference variables and how to use it. We have created a search input in the videos component, added a template reference variable to this input, and passed this variable to the click event of the search button. In the onSearch method, we accessed the value property of the input using this parameter. We created another variable called search text, assigned this input value, and displayed it in the UI. Let me show the UI as well. So this is our search component, search input. If I type something and click on search, it would display the searched value and also filter the results based on the search text. Now, I want to access the input variable without passing this parameter. I want to store the input in a variable and use that variable whenever I want to utilize this search input value. To do so, Angular provides a directive called ViewChild at the rate ViewChild. This is available in Angular core library, so don't forget to import it here. Using ViewChild, you can access elements in the DOM using the selector. It returns the first element that matches the selector. So in our case, the selector is this template reference variable because this is the one that identifies this input. So I'll pass this selector. Let me copy it from here and pass it to ViewChild. We do not have to pass the hash, just the name of the variable. Then we'll declare the variable here, search input, or you can give any name. Then this is of type element ref because this holds the reference to the HTML element. The element ref is also available in Angular core, so import it from here. Now coming to on search, we do not need this parameter anymore. We can make use of this search input. So I'll remove this input and say this dot search input. Now this search input is not the uh, element directly. So this is an element ref. Element ref will contain a property called native element. This native element will contain this input HTML element. We'll say search input dot native element, then access value property of the input. Let's save the changes and go back to UI. So we removed parameter from on search. Let's make the same change in the HTML as well. I removed parameter to on search. If I go back and click on search video, type for create, click on search, then I see the searched text here, and also the results are filtered based on my search text. Not only HTML elements, we can access child components as well. Let's go to videos component. Inside videos component, we are making use of video component. So I can access this video component from directly from here using ViewChild. Let's see how to do that. So first, we have to import ViewChild from Angular core library. Then we have to pass some selector. Let's do it later. I'll create a variable called video component. This is of type video component. So this has to be imported from video folder. Now, previously it was HTML element, so we used template reference variable as selector. Now we are accessing the component, so we can directly make use of the component name as the selector. To see what this variable has, let me just add a console log to get selected video. I'll say console log this dot get selected video. So get selected video will be called whenever we click on an individual video. So let's go back, click on video. Now if we go to inspect console, we'll see video component logged. If you expand this video component, you can see all the inputs. So data and filter data label are the inputs to this video component. On click and search, on click is the output, search input is the view child that we have created just now. Search text is the local variable or property. Then we have on search and on select video methods. So using ViewChild, you can access any property or the method of the child component. Now, what I want to do is I want to focus this search video whenever we come to this page. So in order to do that, we have one of the life cycle hooks called ng after view init. ng after view init. So this method will be called whenever this video component along with the child components are completely loaded, then this ng after view init will be called. So because we are making use of video component which is a child component, I'm making use of this lifecycle hook. So inside this, once the component is fully rendered along with the child components, I want to focus the search input inside the video component. To do that, let's say video comp dot. Uh, we see all the properties and methods. Once I do dot, you can see everything in the IntelliSense. So what I want is the search input. This has native element, and for every input we have a method called focus. So I'm just calling the focus method. Let me refresh. As soon as the component is rendered, we see focus on the search input here. So this is how we can use ViewChild to access child components. There are other properties also. So we have properties like read. This is used to search for a particular type. For example, um, instead of directly accessing using a video component as the selector, we can make use of template reference variable as well. So for example, add a template reference variable hash video. Let's say we have a similar variable for this drop down as well. So here I will just say element ref. I'll just say video. We are making use of template reference variable. Let me import this. So here, instead of focusing, I'll just console log to see what it gives. Console log this dot video component. So what we discussed when I first talked about ViewChild, that it will return the first matching element based on this selector. Now we have two such elements with the same selector. Let's see what it returns. Does it return drop down or the child component? Let's go to the UI. Now we see element ref, and this contains native element, and this has the drop down. So when it searched for video template reference variable, it found two matches. The first match is this select drop down. Now I want to mention that it has to select only video component. Video component. So let's go back and refresh. Now we see video component in the console log. Though there are two matching items here, since we specified read, it's reading only the video component, not the other HTML elements. So this is the use of read. We have another property called static. So this is a Boolean value. It accepts true or false. Let's say I have static true. That means this search will be performed only when the component is rendered, but when the component is updated, it won't update this video component. For example, now we are trying to access app video. So when the component is rendered, it will assign this video component. If we go to UI, let me just refresh, we see undefined because by the time this variable searched this component, it did not find the app video. Maybe this app video was not rendered by the time the search was performed. So if I say static false, what it does is first it will try to search. Then when the component is re-rendered after this child component was loaded, it will update this video component with the child component. Now we see video component rendered here. For other variables, like if we take this one, I'll say video dd. Let me create another variable using ViewChild. Here I'll say video dd, and here also it's video dd. Now we do not want this video component because it's a HTML element. Uh, by default, static is false. So if we go to, okay, we have to console log this video DD. So if you go to UI, it points to select drop down. If I make this true, then also it works because this drop down has values that are hard coded in the UI. These values do not change based on the re-renders, right? It's always static. It doesn't change. So here static true will be appropriate. So this is how you can use ViewChild to access DOM elements. It can be HTML element or it can be a child component, and it has two properties, read and static. Read will help you to customize your query. Static property will update the component, update the variable based on the component re-renders. I hope the concept is clear. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to InterviewPro. Thank you.